can mean shiny or intelligent. So these two meanings are related. And then deposit money in the bank or minerals in the earth, the two meanings are related. And the same thing applies to the two meanings that we have here for to declare they are related. Okay? I just want to take you back to how you find words in a dictionary. Okay? What happens when you're looking for a word in a dictionary and then when you find it? So for instance, when you're looking for a meaning of bright, the dictionary can give you, in this case, two meanings, and then it can state one, shining, and then two, intelligent. Okay, so when meanings are related, the dictionary is going to present the meanings of a word in this way. So bright, one, shining, so meaning number one, shining, meaning number two, intelligent. But when the dictionary is presenting you meanings that are related, the dictionary is going to have bright, one, and then bright, two. So the meanings that we have here for bright and the meanings that we can have here for another bright are or may not be related. Can you see the difference here? So when you have in a dictionary meanings being presented like the way I illustrated earlier on, one shining and two intelligent, then the meanings are related. But when you have one bright and then two another bright, and the meanings that are presented here and then the meanings that are presented for bright number two are not related. Okay, so the ease with which words acquire additional related meanings allows language to accommodate the new concepts and perspectives that accompany technological and cultural changes. Okay, think about this example. Surfers are not only found on the ocean wave, but also on the web. Okay, do you get the meaning of this? Have you ever been a surfer before? So surfers are not only found on the ocean web, but also on the web. Okay, when you are browsing, you are also a surfer. But when you are on the ocean web, okay, you can also be known as a surfer. Alright, we're moving on to another form of lexical relation. This one is known as homonymy. Okay, homonym is a term that comes from the Greek word homo, meaning same, and onym, meaning name. Okay, homonyms are two words with same spelling, same pronunciation, but have different meanings. Okay, there are different types of homonyms. The first type is known as homophones, and then we have homographs, and then lastly heteronymy or heterophone. Okay, we're going to look at these three types of homonyms in detail. So to begin with, homophones. What are homophones? Remember what we've said about homo? Homo means same, and then phones could be sound. So a word that has the same sound. So homophones are words with the same pronunciation but different meaning and may or may not be spelled the same. Let's see some examples here. Two and two. Okay, so two and two, same pronunciation but not spelled the same. Bear and bear, the same pronunciation but not spelled the same. Bank and bank. Now we have the same pronunciation, the same spelling. And then pain and pain, the same pronunciation but different meanings. Okay, another type of a homonym is known as homographs. Okay, homo, same, and then graph, something that is written down or appears in written form. So it is possible to have a word that has the same spelling. It's written in the same way. Okay, so homographs are names with the same spelling but different meaning and may not have the same pronunciation. So the following are some of the examples of homographs. We have present, which means gift, and present to introduce somebody, for instance, and present for today. Okay, close, which means nearby, and close, which means shut the door. And then object, which means a thing, and object, which means to say no. Okay, and then plot, a plan of literary work, and plot, a small piece of ground. Okay, and then we have the last type of homonym here, which is known as heteronym. Heteronyms are words with the same spelling but different pronunciation. Remember we saw close and close. Okay, close and close. Close nearby, and close, shut. Okay, same pronunciation, I mean the same spelling but different pronunciation. Convict, to find guilty, and convict, a prisoner. Same spelling but different pronunciation. Produce, vegetables, and produce, bring forward. Okay, so words with the same spelling but different pronunciation are heteronyms. Okay, do we have some examples in our own local languages? Okay, think about color in Chichewa and color. Color and color. These two are also examples of heteronyms. Okay, we're still looking at lexical relations among words. The next form of the lexical relation is known as hyponymy. Hyponymy is the sense relationship that relates words hierarchically. The underlying observation is that some words have a more general meaning while others have a more specific meaning while referring to the same entity. Okay, so words that may have a general meaning and also other words that are very specific. Okay, think about food. You know, food is just something that is general. It has a more general meaning. Okay, and we can also have specific foods. Okay, we can have meat as an example of that. A specific food. Okay, so meat has a more specific meaning. And we can also have vegetables. You know, vegetables is more general. Okay, and if you want to have a specific, type of example, a specific, vegetable, then there you have something that has a more specific meaning. So because I've used an example of vegetable, think of an example of a vegetable and any example of a vegetable that you can have here is going to have a more specific meaning. So an example of a vegetable, carrot. Okay, still looking at hyponymy. What is the relationship that we have here between these two words, a snake and reptile? And then we have a flower and a plant. Okay, what we see here is that snake is specific and then reptile is general. Flower is specific and then plant is more general. So a relationship of hyponymy where being a snake entails being a reptile and being a flower entails being a plant. So snake includes the meaning of reptile. So snake is a hyponym of reptile. Reptile is the superordinate of snake. Okay, going back to the example of food that we had earlier on. Okay, so food is more general and then meat more specific. Okay, so meat includes the meaning of food. So meat is a hyponym of food. So meat is a hyponym of food. Okay, we can also look at these relationships that we are talking about here using another term, which is superordinate. Okay, so the word that gives you a more general meaning is a superordinate. Okay, so food, the superordinate of meat, and then reptile, a superordinate of snake. Okay, so can you see what we have here? Animal is more general, and this one is just general. So this one is very general, and this one is just general. Okay, so examples of reptiles: snake, crocodile, lizard, dragon, etc. Okay, and then with plant, flower, tree, shrub, grass, vegetable. Okay, so plant is a superordinate of flower. And then lastly we have fish. Can you think of some examples of fish? Okay, think of some examples of fish that you can put here. You can put one here, another one there, and then another type of fish here, and then lastly, the fourth one. Think of these examples. Okay, we're still continuing with our hyponyms. Which of the following are hyponyms and which are superordinates? So we have wood, pine, cow, mammal, alcohol, whiskey, animal, mammal, organism, and animal. So which ones are superordinates and which ones are hyponyms? So from that question that we had from the previous slide, pine is a type of wood. So pine is a hyponym of wood. Whiskey is a type of alcohol. So whiskey is a hypernym of alcohol. Cow is not a type of lion. So cow is not a hypernym of lion. Cow is a type of mammal. So cow is a hypernym of mammal. Mammal is a type of animal. So mammal is a hypernym of animal. Animal is a type of organism. So animal is a hypernym of organism. So hypernym implies meaning inclusion. So if X is a hypernym of Y, then X is a kind of Y. So usually this relationship is a categorical one. Okay, so some X is of the broader category Y, and therefore X is a hypernym of Y. The category Y is known as the superordinate of X. So these are two important terms that you need to know. Okay, categorical and also superordinate. Of course, we've discussed superordinate in the previous slide. So if X is a hypernym of Y, then Y is a superordinate of X. So the fact that any Y is a superordinate does not mean that it itself is not a hypernym of some other Z, which would then be the superordinate of Y. Can you see this? Okay. There's something that we want to talk about here. Okay. Necessary and sufficient conditions. From the examples that we've had so far, we've seen that a snake is a type of a reptile, a flower is a type of a plant, a lion is a type of an animal, but not vice versa. Okay, an animal is not a type of a lion, a plant is not a type of a flower, a reptile is not a type of a snake. So, in this case, a reptile is not necessarily a snake. It could be a lizard, it could be a crocodile, and other reptiles that you can think of. So hypernymy is a one-way relationship. Okay, it is a one-way relationship. So you can only say a lion is a type of animal, but you can't say an animal is a type of a lion. So it is just one way. Being a reptile is a necessary condition for being a snake, but not a sufficient condition. Okay, more superordinates. Creature, superordinate. Animal, superordinate. And then we have lion, a hypernym. So creature is a superordinate of animal, and animal is a superordinate of lion. So a lion being an animal entails a lion is also a creature. And this leads us to another category, another way of categorizing words, another way of categorizing entities, which is referred to as taxonomy. Okay, so taxonomy is like how you can categorize words into various ways, into various forms. We have different examples of taxonomy. Sports. Okay, so sports here is like the overall category, and it can be broken down into smaller ones. So sports is like overall in this case. So it is possible to have a taxonomy of sports because this is broken down into smaller things. We have the overall category sports, and we can also have the overall category animals, and then the overall categories of vehicles. Okay, sports. Let's see some examples. The overall category. So what we have here is the taxonomy of sports. So sports is the overall category, but it can also have smaller categories, smaller forms of sports, or smaller categories of sports. So this one overall category, and then what we have here is contact sports. There are some sports that can be categorized as contact, and then we also have aqua sports, sports